Creative problem solving is a deliberate research-based process for new thinking described originally by Alex Osborne in the classic book Applied Imagination. It has grown into a well-developed, effective process that's used worldwide in both professional and personal arenas. There are many divergent tools that can be used throughout the CPS process. A short list of some basic tools to generate options includes brainstorming, brainwriting, forced connections, Scamper, Idea Box, Why, What's Stopping You, and Visual Connections. Some convergent tools that can be used in the CPS process include HITS, highlighting, pluses, potentials, concerns, and overcoming concerns, card sort, paired comparison analysis, criteria matrix, and targeting. These tools can be used as a standalone technique or used as part of a traditional CPS process session. Divergent and convergent thinking tools are often used in education for the development of higher-level thinking, problem-solving, and metacognitive processing skills, for content enrichment as well as the development of better self-management and teaming skills. Your work in developing your students' creativity is as much about an attitude towards creative thinking as it is the development of specific language and thinking skills. The CPS process and the individual divergent and convergent thinking skills focus on the development of the cognitive factors in concert with affective skill development to expand potential in the entire education community. I'm going to overview some points to keep in mind when using deliberate creative problem-solving tools in the classroom. This includes what you do before, during, and after applying divergent or convergent thinking tools. Communicating the purpose. Target why and what tool you need to use for what particular outcome you wish to achieve. Identify how it fits into your course standards, 21st century thinking framework, and any local curricular framework or requirements. It's not a fun extra. It's essential skills for the future that expand the potential of your classroom functioning and your curricular outcomes. Preparing the learners. You and your students are all creative learners. Work on your attitude, their attitude, and building a healthy relationship between all of you. Appreciate and strive to understand the talents of each student and help them see their strengths. Share with them the importance of creative thinking and show them how it benefits their growth and development in the classroom and outside of the classroom. Building a creative climate. Without a safe, trusting psychological climate that is open to new thinking, tool use is very limited. Work on the daily interactions between everyone to build a positive, successful learning environment. Pay attention to the physical setup so communication is easier and access to materials and freedom of choice are considered. During the application of the tool, it's essential that the physical and psychological climate is set. Then you will begin a short warm-up, overview the guidelines for that type of thinking, and engage in the use of the tool. Setting up the environment. Reinforce your expectations of how to behave and model that behavior. What you do is much more important than what you say. Take a look at the best ways to set up that physical environment as well for teamwork. Warming the group up. Even if it's a 2-minute brain teaser, engage them in something to get their brain going. Overviewing the guidelines. Effective use of divergent tools requires the ability to defer judgment. Training in the divergent guidelines is a must. Effective use of the convergent tools requires affirmative judgment. Just like divergent thinking, convergent thinking requires training in the convergent guidelines. Engage in the use of the tools. Follow the appropriate guidelines during the use of the tool and engage as the teacher in facilitator behaviors. These are distinct from traditional teaching behaviors. Be aware of the dynamics of the group, and as a facilitator, ask appropriate questions to guide the use of the tool. After you've applied the tool, you must decide what will be done with the information and what action steps are needed next. Management of materials. There are materials that are useful for engaging in certain tools. Brainwriting or brain drawing for the very young children includes individual sheets that are needed to effectively facilitate this tool. For many other Divergent tools, large chart paper, Post-its, and dark markers work well. Check out the best way to do each tool and gather the materials first. If you send information home, decide what needs to be sent home and what is working items in the class that you keep. It's important that families understand what you have done and how it's important to the educational experience. If you just send home a list of Divergent ideas that students generated, it can be misinterpreted as fluff. And by the way, if you ever do brainstorming and only do the ideas and never do anything with them, it is fluff because you've not done any converging and you've not put the best ideas into action. Follow through. Put your process management hat on and think about the next steps to enrich and expand the work completed. If something else needs to happen to finish the work started, it must be followed up with, or you risk losing the power of what you just did. Some closing thoughts. CPS tools require training. That means to be an effective facilitator, you need to learn and practice the use of the tools first. There is skill involved, so just like riding a bike, the more you effectively do it, the better you get at it. Using the tools effectively requires the same level of knowledge and skill that master teachers employ every day. These include, for example, effective questioning, an appreciation of each learner as an individual of potential, and the management of the classroom. Additionally, a creative teacher brings a heightened sense of joy and their own curiosity to the classroom, a positive viewpoint, and a willingness to take a risk themselves to try something new. What happens in the formal learning situation in the classroom is greatly affected by the interactions in the informal moments of the classroom. How you react to new thinking, how well you listen to your learners, how well you model your willingness to be a creative learner and believe in your students makes all the difference. So be a creative learner yourself first and engage in deep thinking through the development of deliberate creative thinking in the classroom.